Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Ontario Caregiver Organization's webinar series. These webinars bring together caregivers and subject matter experts to explore topics that are most important to caregivers. We do this to support and engage chosen family, friends, and neighbors who are caring for someone. I'm Felicia Hart, a family caregiver as well as manager of caregiver navigation and workplace programs at the OCO. I will be one of your hosts today. We begin this gathering by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet on a virtual platform with people joining us from all across the province, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the land which we each call home. I am coming to you from Clarington, Ontario, which is situated within the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa of the Anishinaabe, known today as the Williams Treaties First Nation. I came to be here through generations of immigration to this land. At the OCO, we are working to better understand how we can be meaningful allies and support the recommendations from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So today's session is focused on learning more about caregiver experiences, as well as OCO's programs and how you can access what you need. So we are opening our virtual doors for you today. And my co-host is Ron Bellino, and he will be leading our caregiver panel discussion. Ron is an experienced family caregiver to his late father, who lived well with Alzheimer's for over 10 years, while locally and remotely supporting his senior mother during their caregiving journey. As a seasoned advisor and speaker on topics such as dementia caregiving, innovation, and aging, he is well known for utilizing age tech and creative strategies to support both persons living with dementia and their caregivers who are aging in place at home and in their community. So we have a wonderful group of caregivers that are joining us today. And Ron, I would like to welcome you to join us on camera. We're so happy to have you here. And I will now pass it over to you so you can welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Amy Kupal, and our caregiver panel.
Thanks, Felicia, and greetings, everyone. And I'm very excited today to be here with the open house with the Ontario Caregiver Organization. My first duty is to introduce Amy Kupal, and Amy Kupal is the CEO of the Ontario Caregiver Organization, or OCO, a charity funded by the Ministry of Health to support Ontario's 4 million family caregivers. A visionary leader with more than 20 years of experience in the not-for-profit sector, Amy has extensive experience in knowledge translation, which has been instrumental in the development of direct-to-caregiver programs and services. Amy works collaboratively with organizations across the healthcare sector and beyond to improve the lives of caregivers in Ontario. She has a deep understanding of the benefits and challenges associated with caregiving. As a caregiver for most of her life, Amy helped to support her brother, who had cerebral palsy. She was also a caregiver to her mother throughout her cancer journey and now supports her father. Amy, looking forward to seeing you here and hearing some of your thoughts. Hi, Amy.
Thanks, Ron. I'm so happy to be here with all of you today and really, really looking forward to this webinar. One of the things that has guided our work at the Ontario Caregiver Organization is that caregivers must be involved in every stage of the work that we do. This is really embracing the spirit of nothing about us without us. And so I'm so excited that our webinar today includes so many caregiver voices and that you're going to have the opportunity to hear about OCO's free programs and services and resources, and also make those personal connections with people who may be having similar or different experiences to you as a caregiver. If you are a healthcare provider, I welcome you as well. It's really important that we're working together as partners in care, and we've been so pleased with the response by healthcare providers to the work that we've been doing over the last several years, and appreciate that there are not-for-profits, community organizations, and healthcare providers here. Welcome to all of you. I hope that you find that our time together over the next hour is really useful. And hopefully, if you are coming back that you also see that the work that we're doing has evolved. We launched our first program in November 2019, which was our free helpline. And we had no idea that within a number of months, we would be dealing with the challenges that COVID had to present to us, which were certainly unique and substantial for caregivers. We've learned a lot since then. We've applied those learnings not only in the evolution of our programs and services for caregivers as they're presented today, but also in our work with health system partners, particularly in terms of our essential care partner work. We know that caregivers are absolutely essential as a part of the healthcare team, whether someone is an inpatient in hospital, outpatient, resident in long-term care, or other congregate setting, whatever the case may be, caregivers are essential. We are doing the majority of the care regardless of where that is taking place. And we often hold the history and bridge the gaps between different care providers. So I welcome all of you, whatever role you are playing, and hope that you find that it's valuable. Please do follow up with us and let us know how we can continue to evolve what we have to offer. If you're interested in being involved, please let us know that too. And I'll be cheering for everyone who has great stories and insights to share over the course of our time today. And I'll turn it back to you, Ron, to continue to host us.
Thank you very much there, Amy. So the next part here is I'd love to introduce all of you to three fabulous caregivers. I will start first with Christine. Christine Lavoie has been volunteering with OCO for a little over a year now. Her role has been to gather data and document responses from caregivers in hopes to help expand the learning and development of our current and future caregivers. Volunteering has always been a passion for Christine, who is thankful for the opportunity and experience to work alongside everyone here at OCO. So that's Christine. Anar Sharif is 75 years old and lives in Toronto. Anar is a retired nurse and public health nurse who also is an active yoga teacher, teaching 3 classes a week. Anar, I think I should come to your classes. I look forward to that. Anar is a caregiver to Mohammed, who is 77 years old and who has an Alzheimer's diagnosis since 2021. And Catherine currently lives in Northern Ontario for the past 20 years, but grew up in Durham region. Caregiver needs has long been a passion before it became apparent in her life. Caregiver involvement was a focus of her graduate studies. Her experience with caregiving started approximately 10 years ago when her partner started experiencing some difficulties with their mental health. She is and was a parent and caregiver to their son, who was diagnosed with a rare genetic condition. Her son passed away at 2 years old in December 2022, and she has an 11-month-old who keeps her anchored. During the first year of her son's life, she signed up to be a peer mentee with the OCO. The relationship left a profound effect on her well-being and how to be a parent of an atypical child. In addition, how to be a caregiver for her spouse, finding her personal balance and tools for managing full-time work. She currently is a peer mentor in the peer support program since February 2023 and has found the program very beneficial for herself to help others. So I look forward to seeing all these three caregivers here. If you can come online and let's see. Hi, Christine. Hi, Catherine. And greetings, Anar. So I think everyone should see all of us, all these lovely faces. And such a pleasure to have all of you here today. And I know each of you are going to share a little bit about your stories as to your connection with the OCO. I am going to start here with, I think I'm going to start with Christine, if that's okay. Christine, my question actually to all three of you is, what brought you to OCO? What was the reason you came to the OCO?
So originally, as I mentioned in my intro, I'm a very avid person who loves to volunteer. But the only thing is during COVID, everything became virtual. So I took some time to do some research online, and I ended up finding OCO. And as a person who started really young as being a caregiver and not having these resources, I really fell in love with the mission statement of OCO. So I joined the OCO group, and I really wanted to have that chance to help grow the caregiver's knowledge. And well, now OCO stuck with me.
Okay, so that ability to kind of switch from just some of the caregiving experiences you had to now actually wanting to contribute back.
Mhm.
That's what I'm hearing there, Christine. And
Yes.
we welcome you for as long as you want. Okay, so thank you. Anar, greetings. And I'm going to ask you the same question. What brought you to OCO?
Um, well, I became a caregiver about 3 years ago, and I really didn't have a manual. And I was scrolling through Facebook, and I came across the OCO Scale program, and I clutched at that straw, and how glad I am that I did, because it's really helped me through caregiving with
Yeah.
all the programs that it offers.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a big lifesaver for me, and it is still continues to be a lifesaver.
Yes. So thank you, Nara. There are many caregivers out there that will not find that link or will not see that, and they will not have that opportunity that you are getting as well to have that support. And we do hope that many others will click on that link, or it'll pop up on their page somewhere, or someone will share with them, because exactly as you said, what you just shared right now, a lot of people can benefit greatly, just as yourself. So thank you for sharing that and being here with us today. Catherine, how about you?
My son was born in June 2020, so the height of COVID, and he ended up becoming sick when he was 2 months old. And it was a really tumultuous time, and he wasn't starting to meet his developmental milestones, and the increase of appointments started to happen in specialists. And in April of 2021, after we received his diagnosis, I was just overwhelmed with the amount of information and things that I needed to do for my son, becoming more of a caregiver versus a parent to him. And I was just struggling. Like, I had a good support network, but I really needed to talk to another person that was going through something similar as me. And so I was familiar with the OCO due to the nature of the work that I'm in healthcare. And so I just reached out, and I was matched with somebody, and we had a really great relationship. And that person was able to help me navigate and circumvent the healthcare system, but also take a step back to say, like, you're a mother, you're a parent, as well as, you have to look out for yourself. So that's how I became involved as a pure mentee first.
Right. So I will stay with you there, Catherine, because it leads to my next question about the programs that we're all three of you have been involved with. So that peer mentoring piece, Catherine, if you can actually maybe share a little bit more detail as to how that works, because caregiving is not new, correct? Like, there's always someone ahead of us that has gone through it before, and there's always going to be another caregiver that's coming behind us that will go through the same challenges. But if you can share a little bit about that, Catherine, then I'll come to you, Anar, about the program that you've gone through as well. Yeah, Catherine?
Yeah, so I called the OCO, and they were able to tell me about a plethora of programs that they had, including Scale, which I had done too. And I really found that when the person I spoke to said, like, you can be matched with a peer mentor, hopefully somebody that's in a similar journey. And I said, okay, sign me up. And they said it might be a wait, but to get somebody who is a young parent, I kind of had some specific needs, but I was open to anybody. but I was actually quickly matched with another person who had a child with a developmental disorder as well. And so from there, our relationship just budded, and I was able to ask questions. They were able to tell me about things in the system that I didn't even know existed, how to access resources, how to take care of myself, access resources for my son, for myself, either from financially, for me and my partner as well. And so our weekly conversations, I really, really actually looked forward to them. We always tried to pick a time that worked for the both of us. I often was in the evening with when you have children, you can, talk when they're sleeping. And I remember being in my patio at nighttime and chatting with this individual, and they would be going for a walk, and that was their self-care, and that was my self-care, getting some fresh air, and we would just chat. And honestly, like I really am not lying. Like I looked so forward to those weekly conversations with that individual, just because I felt like I could just be so raw with them.
So there are two key points that you emphasize that I think everyone else needs to know here as well. One is the ability for caregivers to look forward to something. Many times caregivers don't have something to look forward to because we're just in the grind, caregiving, and we forget about ourselves. Okay, caregivers many times think about the person they're caring for, but don't realize that, hey, I need to care for myself. And one of that is looking forward to something. So Catherine, I'm appreciative that you emphasized that point to a lot of the caregivers here. So looking forward to something, and then also how the routine worked for you, that caregiving is not 9 to 5, right? So it's not, we all know that it's 24 hours,
Yeah.
and that ability to have that support at a time that works for you, right? Was that something you arranged? Just curious with, you know,
Yeah, they were very open. The individual's life was a little bit more flexible than mine at the time. Even though I was off, but it seemed for me that nighttime, when after I had put my son to bed, was more optimal for me. And so that worked with them, and that's when we chatted. And as a peer mentor right now, I'm flexible because I'm not working right now as I'm on parental leave, and so I cater to them and have a conversation. So sometimes it's at 8 o'clock in the morning because that's works best for them, and sometimes it's in the evening after my child's going to sleep because that's what works for me.
okay.
So it's finding mutual agreeability with your peer mentor, but and it works.
Okay. I'll circle back to you, Catherine, about what are some of the lessons that you're learning as now peer mentor in a few minutes here. But Anar, I will come back to you. And if you're able to share with us the program that you went through, like you kind of shared a bit about it already, but what is it that you could share to other caregivers that you'd like them to know about going through this program?
I liked the group counseling that's every week, and I set that time by. And I, like Catherine, look forward to the Sunday mornings, which I have chosen to be with the group. And I really like it that there are quite a few familiar faces who are going through this journey, caregiving journey, maybe not necessarily with the same diagnosis, but the fact is that, they are going through the same stresses. So the OCO Scale program, which is the group counseling, and then you could access the individual counseling for the 3 times for 45 minutes. It was such a treat for me, because you can, it's just, you can pour your heart out and know that you're not burdening anybody who is not on that journey, because they know what you're going through.
Thank you, Anar. It's one of those where many people will not relate to what a caregiver goes through unless you've gone through it, right? Exactly what you said. And sometimes we do feel that we're burdening someone else by trying to tell them our stories and they're not ready or they're not willing to hear that. But to have a support group, and for you to be in a safe space, with even people here, there's a lot of love and care coming back to you as well that you need, and for you to even let it all out, so that's what I'm hearing, Anar, from what you're getting from this. I see both Catherine and Christine also agreeing that we do need our space, okay, to share. And many times, yeah, that's not in our own personal environment or with our personal friends or family. So it's important. Were you going to say something, Anar?
I was actually that, it provides a safety net as well as a cocoon in which you can totally unburden yourself, and the time and the space, which is just so special, to be able to do that, because then you feel, okay, well, I can carry on,
Yes. One thing you also said again is looking forward to it. So I think there's a running theme here. That Catherine said is that you look forward to this on Sunday. Was yours on Sunday mornings? Is that yeah, right? So it is one where even though it's the weekend, for many people, they look at it as, time off. It's also time for self-care for you. And again, for the OCO to have services and programs that could be even on a Sunday, that's amazing. Right. So, Anar, thank you again for sharing, and I'll come back to you as well. Thank you. Christine, how about yourself? If you can share a little bit about the program.
Yeah, so mine kind of looks a little bit different than the two others, just because I haven't had to use the services as much as, because I'm not like currently caregiving. But one thing that I do want to shed light on is the amazing program of the webinars that we have here. And I have learned a lot from the webinars. So these webinars is on your own time, at your own pace, and they're amazing. And the best part about these webinars are that they're coming straight from caregivers. So we're meeting all together and we're getting all the information relayed back from the caregivers about what they want to learn and like the information that they need to progress in their education. And that's where this is all coming from. So the webinars are the one thing that I wanted to point out. And that's the one thing that that's my biggest takeaway, just because I haven't really needed like all of the services. Like I haven't needed to have anybody such as like Catherine or Anar to help me through my own personal things. But the webinars is definitely something that you guys can go over at any point in time. And the one that I want, and it kind of comes off of Anar's, where you need that time to yourself. Another big one, and it's in a webinar that we have, is the PTSD and unpaid caregivers and risk and signs to look out for. And it points out like risks and signs within yourself, but it also helps with risks and signs within other people. And as I know a lot of people that are caregiving, so it's really nice to be able to sit and have this information in the palm of your hand. And if you notice any changes in the people that you love around you who are caregiving, you're able to take that information and be able to help them and also approach them in like a very kind way and not kind of scare them off kind of thing. These webinars are incredible. And I hope you guys all take a time to go and take a look at them.
So, Christine, that's excellent, because it is related to my next question to all three of you, and I'll go Christine, Anar, and then Catherine. We'll finish off there. But it is one where if you were to pitch, the OCO, okay, to other people, and when I say pitch, it would be more like, okay, here's a caregiver that has no idea who the OCO is, the Ontario Caregiver Organization. Here is a community, or, and then you're saying, oh, there's this webinar, like, what is it that you want to send to other people that don't know anything about the OCO? Like, how would you approach them? What do you want them to know?
That there's always resources. Like, this OCO is here to help in any which way that they can. I want people to know that they're not alone, that there are many, many, many caregivers that are trying to make sure that old and new caregivers have the information that they need to make sure that their self, like their selfless is taken care of on top of the people that they're caring for. And this is all available at OCO. And I think that just in myself coming here and just working and helping with the webinars and mini series, it's almost like it's healing something. When you're a caregiver and you don't have that support and you finally see the people that are like you getting the support that they need, it's almost healing. And that's exactly what OCO is for me. And that's what I share with everybody else, is anybody who is going through a difficult time of taking care of somebody within their life, or even know somebody who's having a hard time, this is the perfect place to be. And I recommend it. It's top. As soon as I hear anybody talk about having any difficulties, I'm like, oh, OCO, come see them. They'll help you.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can come up with a rhyme or something like that.
Yes.
But Christine, yeah. Thank you, Christine. And yeah, the webinars are huge, right? People can watch them at their own time. That's the beauty of these recordings. So, Anar, if you can briefly share with us just, what would you be saying to someone who, doesn't know about the OCO?
Well, I'd say it's fantastic.
Okay.
I'd say, that because caregiving is so complex that you can't do it on your own. And so OCO, the SCALE program, has given me so much strength, even though I don't look like I have any strength right now, but it has, and it's given me the strength to kind of continue, because what choice do we have? But the choice that I have is that I can be part of these webinars, I can be part of the group counseling, I can be part of the individual counseling. There's so much available. I have been saying to other caregivers within my faith community as well as outside, that just try it out, see if it fits.
So, Anar, thank you. And part of the strength in the caregiving community is being willing to be vulnerable. Okay. And that is a lot of strength that you're showing right now to share, your situation, your story with many others who are listening in. So you are being very strong, in my opinion, Anar, at this moment. So thank you. Thank you. Catherine, we'll finish off with you here. Just again, same question.
So my elevator pitch would be that caregiving is really hard and it's isolating. And for me, I liken my journey to be on a storm of uncharted waters. And OCO I was in a boat, and OCO provided a paddle for me and kind of navigated me to different areas of things that I didn't know that I didn't need. I was able to connect with somebody who was on a similar journey. So they weren't on my boat, but we were paddling side by side. I was able to get some life jackets through the webinars and the SCALE program. It just gives you that idea that you're not alone, and that they're always there. They're 24/7. I've used a service where I just texted them and somebody responded while watching TV on my couch because I had a question about a resource and somebody found some information for me. So that's what the OCO can do from you. It can give you support on your boat, and whatever support that needs. It could be the life jacket, a co-captain, a paddle, an anchor, a sail. That's what I feel about the OCO.
So, Catherine, thank you again. And I just want to say a special thank you to all three of you for sharing your thoughts and your time right now with your experience with the Ontario Caregiver Organization. So I am truly honored to be on this session with you. And I will be passing it now back to Felicia, who will share more details about OCO's programs and services from the OCO staff. So thank you again to all three of you.
Thank you so much, Ron, Christine, Catherine, and Nar. Just sitting here and listening to everything that you shared with us today, I'm so incredibly grateful. And I know one thing is that you've definitely helped others on today's webinar know that they're not alone. And the way you've described how you got connected, the various needs and challenges that you have been facing as a caregiver. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today and opening up for this. I really do think it's going to help a lot of people get connected to what they need as well and really get that sense of community. And Ron, thank you so much for leading us. You always do such a beautiful job talking through some really hard things, right? So we appreciate that. So everyone's already done such an awesome job of talking through the different programs and services and supports that you can access through the OCO. But I definitely want to take some more time in today's session to go over that in a little more detail. We definitely hear from a lot of people that it can be hard to not only identify your needs, but then where do you go to next, right? And how do you get connected to all of these wonderful things and supports out there? So let me just pull up some information for us here as we continue through. Now, for some of you, it might be your very first time getting connected with us, and I just want to make sure you really understand who we are and what we're here to do. So the Ontario Caregiver Organization, or OCO, as you'll hear us refer to it, we exist to improve the lives of Ontario's caregivers. So everyone who's out there providing physical, emotional support to family members, partners, friends, neighbors, we're here for you. And I know you've heard from a few of our caregivers today who have shared what that meant for them and how they got connected. And so at the center of our work is you as a caregiver, all those caregivers across our province. And we do collaborate with caregivers to create everything that we have available. You know, Amy shared about how we started out with a helpline, and now we have a number of other programs and services to help support you with the needs that you have. We have things like our advisory panels, working groups, and other ways to provide feedback so we can keep in touch with all of the things that you need the most. Now, today I'm also joined by Cleo and Fiona, my colleagues who are going to help us walk through all of our programs and services. And Cleo is our manager of caregiver programs, and Fiona is our program lead for peer support and young caregivers. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up our website because that's where all of these resources and programs live, and it can make it really easy for you to learn more and get connected. And we're going to walk through how you do that. Okay, so we're just going to walk through with you here today. I'm going to ask Fiona and Cleo to join me on screen in a moment. But I just want to start right from scratch here. If you go to our website, ontariocaregiver.ca, you've heard about these programs and from caregivers across our province about how they got connected. Here's how you can. But I also want you to know that not only do you have our website, but you also have our helpline service. You might know people who aren't able to go online for various reasons, and they just want to talk to somebody. So that's actually where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with our helpline service to give you a sense of what's out there for you. So we do have a 24/7 helpline available. It's live answer in French and English. There's also 150 language options if that is something people need over the phone. And then, like I said, 24/7. And it really gives you a chance to talk through with one of our specialists about what programs we have, what the needs you have as a caregiver, and other community supports that are available right within your region, in your town, what's available to you. But then you can also get some help registering for what we have to offer. And on our webpage, there's a number of questions that people have about our helpline. Now, it is not a crisis service. It is purely for information and referral, but they do have the ability to get people connected to other services as well, just to make sure you get exactly what you need. We also have a live chat you'll see on your screen there to the right at the top, and that's available through our website here from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. So you have a couple of options to get connected if you just want to talk to somebody to understand more. But let's focus on some of the other things that we have available too. So when you go to our website, if you're a caregiver, the best place to start is the For Caregivers tab. We also, as you can see, have other information for providers. I know there's a few of you on the line today. We have things for employers as they support caregiving employees. But for today's webinar, we definitely want to show you what you can find as a caregiver on the website. So one thing that I'll go over, and I know that Christine talked about this too, the webinars that we have available. So as we go through, you'll notice that each time you click on something different on our website, it opens up a separate tab for you, just so you can keep track of everywhere you're going on the site. So this is where you can find all of the other topics that we've covered in the past and recordings that are on our YouTube page. So it all links nicely there. So you can see all the different topics that we've already gone over. And then we also have our events page, so you can learn more about upcoming sessions and how to register for those right in that calendar. We also showcase other webinars and events that are happening for caregivers with partners that we've made across the province. We also have an online learning library. So many people learn in different ways. Some people want to join support groups, want to call our helpline for information, or join webinars. And then we have others that say, you know what, I'm really interested in e-learning. How can I do some independent learning just so I can walk through some different ideas and different topic areas? And so we have that available on our website for you as well through our OCO Learning Library. You can create a profile, it's step by step, and then get access to everything from there. You'll also see that we have a variety of different toolkits and some other pieces here to focus on your mental health and well-being, different ways for people to connect through podcasts. We also have some lists for resources for various health conditions and resources for other groups of caregivers across our province. There's also something called our 90-second caregiver emails. So you could get those on a weekly basis that provide some really quick tips that you can read within 90 seconds and get further connected to the supports you need. So now I will ask Fiona and Cleo to join on screen. Thank you so much for being here with us today and continuing to walk through some of our program areas. I definitely want to start with talking through peer support. So Fiona, sometimes caregivers tell us that they just need someone to talk to, someone who can understand where they are coming from. We heard that from our caregivers today in our panel. And so I'm wondering if you can come on and tell us a little bit more about peer support and the options that we have for that, as well as what caregivers can expect when they join these programs.
Thanks, Felicia. Hello, everyone. My name is Fiona Lacey, and I'm the program lead for peer support and young caregivers here at OCO. When registering for any of our peer support programs, I'm going to be the staff member who you connect with directly. We offer peer support in two formats, either one-to-one and through support groups. Peer support offers connection and an opportunity to gain emotional and social support from others who also have caregiving experience. Both one-to-one peer support and support groups offer this community of caregivers, but you might have a personal preference as to whether you would prefer to connect through the phone with one person or to connect through video meetings with a group of caregivers with diverse experience. We'll start looking at our one-to-one peer support program. Through one-to-one peer support, caregivers are given the opportunity to connect with a volunteer peer mentor who has received training on hosting supportive conversations, active listening, and brings their own lived experience as a caregiver. Once you arrive on the one-to-one peer support page, you'll be guided through our 3 steps to join the program. First, you will click on Sign Up to fill out our registration form. The information collected on this registration form is used to contact you and share some of your context of your caregiving role with your volunteer peer mentor. Then I will contact you directly to provide you access to our one-to-one peer support online portal, where you will be able to review the profiles of our available peer mentors. So you may be able to connect with a peer mentor who has experience with a similar condition or diagnosis as you, or you might be able to connect with someone who has the same relationship to the person you are caring for, such as a spouse, a parent, or a child. Some caregivers might also choose to select a peer mentor based on a common point of connection, such as navigating the healthcare system or setting up personal boundaries. Once you select the volunteer peer mentor who you think would be a good fit for you, You can expect a phone call directly from your peer mentor. I can also provide support in selecting a volunteer peer mentor by providing suggestions or making the connection on your behalf. Peer mentorships last for 6 months and they occur through weekly phone calls with your volunteer peer mentor. We have all of our caregiver participants and mentors sign our OCO confidentiality pledge to ensure privacy in your phone calls. Your peer mentor will be there for you as a cheerleader, a person to confide in, and someone to check in on you and your goals. We'll talk next about our online support groups. You may prefer to connect with a group of fellow caregivers. To join one of our online caregiver support groups, please click on the Online Support Group tab under the Peer Support option on the website. From here, you will see our schedule of different support group offerings. We offer many different days and times, including a support group in French and one specially for young caregivers aged 15 to 25. Please click the Register Today button to continue to our registration page, where you will select the support group you wish to sign up for. After answering a few questions about your caregiving experience, I will reach out to you directly to connect you with the online caregiver support group. You will also be provided with a confidentiality pledge to sign and then receive an email reminder the day before the support group session that you have chosen to attend. We hope you will be able to attend the support group as much as your schedule allows. Once in the support group, you will be hosted by our volunteer support group facilitators who bring a wealth of experience as caregivers. You will be able to connect with other caregivers and share in mutual understanding of the challenges and the changes involved in being a caregiver. Our support groups are a wonderful opportunity to hear how others have handled various elements of caregiving and provide mutual support. We also offer a special resource center for young caregivers who are aged 15 to 25. We understand the unique challenges that come with being a caregiver at a young age. Through the Young Caregivers Connect website, you can connect directly with other young caregivers through our discussion forum, read the personal stories of other young caregivers, get tips and ideas to support your caregiving role through resources that were written and developed by young caregivers themselves. Through our young caregiver specific online support group and through our one-to-one peer support program, we could also help you get connected to others in a similar caregiving experience, as a young person. Meeting with other young caregivers provides an opportunity to ask questions, share your story, and feel that you are in a safe place amongst your peers. As we've heard from our amazing panelists today, there's so much value in connecting with someone who understands the unique role of being a caregiver. We hope you will consider joining or potentially referring to one of our peer support groups, and please reach out to me anytime with questions.
Fiona, thank you so much for taking the time to walk through that with us. That was incredibly helpful, and I think gives people a sense of what happens even after I do find this and register. What can I count on? So thank you so much. I now want to go to Cleo. So Cleo, we've heard from caregivers all across the province that they are concerned about their own health and well-being and not always sure where to turn. So I'm wondering, can you tell us more about some of our OCO programs that you would suggest they consider if that's how they're feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Felicia. So as you mentioned, I'm manager of our caregiver programs, and our goal really as a team is to make sure caregivers can access support they need and when they need it. So, where you'll meet me on this journey is I do manage our mental health programming. So you'll meet me moderating our SCALE program, as well as conducting intakes for our caregiver coaching program. And of course, just potentially meeting you through emails if you have any questions about the programs. So I want to start with our SCALE program. So if you go on our website, there'll be a button for psychoeducation, group, and individual counseling. So that will lead you to our SCALE program. And SCALE stands for Supporting Caregiver Awareness, Learning, and Empowerment. And the goal of the program is really to support your own mental health and well-being as a caregiver. And we do this by providing weekly psychoeducational webinars. As you can see on the website, they're both live or recorded. We provide strategies, tools, and resources to help caregivers better navigate these difficult caregiving emotions. And we provide free and confidential online group and individual counseling. I'll say that part again because often that's a common question is, is the counseling free? It is free of cost and confidential. It is optional as well. Space is limited, so we always say to sign up earlier than later, but there are wait lists as well. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll start to see how the program is designed to really support your mental health and well-being. So it's divided into 2 4-week sessions. So your first session is more focused on unpacking those difficult caregiver emotions. So you can see some of the topics like caregiving stress, managing anxiety, anger, how to overcome sadness and guilt. And if you were to click on one of them, you can see that we offer the recording for the webinar, a summary of the webinar, as well as all the resources for that week. And I think that's one of the great things about the SCALE program is it's flexible. We understand that caregivers may not be able to come to the live webinars or come every week. So you're able to watch the recording, you're still able to access the resources at a time that is flexible for you as a caregiver, because we understand how busy caregivers are and also that things do come up. And then if you scroll down a bit, you can see our session 2 topic. So this is the second part of the program for 4 weeks. We focus more on these other mental health strategies. So mindfulness, self-compassion, self-care, and all the recordings, resources and summaries are there as well, as you can see. So how you register for this program is quite simple. There's a big yellow button that says register here, and that will take you to our Eventbrite page. And if you scroll down, you'll see a button that says get tickets, and it's going to ask you for some information about yourself, about your caregiving experience, and then it will ask you which weeks you want to sign up for. So you can see, you can pick and choose. Do you want to, attend the mindfulness? Do you want to attend one about finding your caregiving strengths? Of course, you're welcome to join all of them, but it's really based on your flexibility. So yeah, it's a great program if you're really looking to connect with the community, join live webinars. They are run by a trained mental health professional. So you get that support where they're able to really unpack those feelings as well. The same providers provide psychotherapy through the counseling experience as well. So it's a great opportunity to really work through those difficult caregiving emotions. So now we're going to backtrack and we're going to look at our caregiver coaching program. So this is a bit of a newer program, and our caregiver coaching program really looks at providing the opportunity to work one-on-one with a professional caregiver coach who also has lived experience. So they have the best of both worlds, and you get to work one-on-one with a professional to problem solve, set goals. So the nature of the coaching program is more practical. So they're there to help develop a plan to help you through a current caregiving challenge. So often caregivers entering the coaching program are either burned out, exhausted, looking for a plan to, get them back on track, to get them out of that burnout. Or they're looking at difficult transitions, whether perhaps they're caring for someone who's transitioning into a long-term care home or coming into their home. And developing a plan on what that looks like. If you actually scroll down a little bit, you'll see under what can a caregiver coach help me with is a great list of, what a caregiver coach is able to provide. So talking about the burnout, the balancing, finding time for self-care, setting limits is a big one, communication skills as well, employment and caregiving balance, future care planning. So the list is quite long, but the key difference often between coaching and our SCALE program is the coaching is more practical and they're trying to find a plan to help you move forward. So how you refer to this is through our self-referral form. It's on our website. If you open that, it'll take you through a quick survey, and it'll take you through some questions about your readiness to participate. So with coaching, there is a little bit of a time commitment in terms of making the sessions a priority, as well as following up on some action steps or homework from the coach. So through the self-referral form, that'll come to us on our intake team, and we'll meet with you to schedule a telephone call for 30 to 45 minutes just to go through your experience, make sure coaching is still a good fit, kind of understanding what the program is about, and if it's going to meet your needs and your current challenges. And then from there, we book an appointment in with a coach. This is a limited eligibility based program. So that means that everyone who does a self-referral may or may not see a coach, but the important part is we really work as a team internally to make sure we find the right support for you. So if it's not coaching, it might be peer support. If it's not peer support, maybe it's a scale program. So I think that's one of the best parts about what we try and do for caregivers at OCO.
Leo, thank you so much for giving us all that information. I hope everyone now feels like they know exactly where they might go next and what to try. So thank you, everyone. So we are now moving into our Q&A period for our webinar. And I know our colleague Marnie has been closely monitoring the chat. And I'm just going to take a look to see what questions are coming through here. We definitely have had a lot of comments from those on the line saying that they agree that caregiving can be very lonely at times, really looking at options to get connected to others. There was a comment here too, specifically for Anar, saying that sometimes there are a lot of emotions and pain that's experienced, and just the fact that, you know, you are strong because you are still there. Thank you, everyone, for sharing all of your comments and how you're feeling too. Now, one question that came up is what the referral process can look like. So if you want to refer someone to some of the services that we went over today, what can happen there? So absolutely, anyone can refer into our free programs and services that we discussed today. And there's also the self-referral options. People can get connected either through the helpline and get help registering for those. And they can also register through the forms that we went over today as well. So you could do either. You could either help someone fill that out if you're referring them in, or they can refer themselves through our self-referral forms. And then also people are asking, you know, if I get that consent, is it okay to go ahead and sign people up? Absolutely. If you're supporting a caregiver, you can definitely get their consent for that and make sure that we can get them registered and follow up with them. There's some other questions here too around how can we share our stories? So if you're sitting there right now and you listen to other caregivers share their stories and want to share your own, we do have ways to do that. So certainly on our website, we have a Share Your Stories tab. You can get in touch with us through our info at ontariocaregiver.ca or through our helpline, just to make sure that we're staying connected to you. And now I'm going to ask our panelists to come back on with Ron, just as we wrap up our webinar for today. So one question that's coming through too is, where can people go for some culturally specific support groups, for example, for those caring for Cantonese speaking elders or those in the LGBTQ2S+ community? So definitely, these are some really great questions, and I'd invite any of our caregivers or Ron to share any of your insights as well for some of these questions. But we do have resource pages there for various groups of caregivers in our community, and also through a service like our helpline, we can help you find what's available in your community. But we do have resource lists and other connections on our website that we went over.
Felicia, if I can just
Yeah.
add there. So one thing when it comes to accessing resources locally, it's not equal everywhere. So there may come a point where you don't have something local, right? And OCO does their best to kind of find all of them, you know, wherever that is. But there might have to be sometimes that moment where you do have to go virtually. Okay. So again, that may not be with the OCO, but there are some support groups and some, you know, social media channels to consider, but start with OCO. But again, we don't want someone to get stuck if there is nothing in their community, or we can't find something for them, that there's always somewhere that you can find a community that'll help you. Okay.
Thanks for that, Ron. And there's another question coming up too, and I'm wondering, Christine, Catherine, or Anar, just based on your experiences, have you ever found like some other resources or tips or strategies, especially getting through grief as a caregiver? That could mean if you've lost someone that you've cared for, or even if you're feeling that anticipatory grief as well as you care for someone with a health condition. Do you have any insights on that at all? Catherine, maybe we could start with you. You see your hand there.
So I'm actively going through grief as my son, it's been less than a year that he has passed away. I found that what has helped was the OCO. There's a lot of grief support resources becoming available, but also your local hospice would have some support. So I really highly encourage you to tap into that. And then there's also the Bereavement Network of Ontario. And they have different chapters across Ontario, so you could look into there, and your hospitals as well, and your Canadian Mental Health Association. Those are the things that have helped me through the last year. And my sense, and sorry, one more thing would be because my son was a child, I've used Sick Kids Hospital as well in their palliative advanced care team grief support programs.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's going to be really helpful.
So for me, I'm sorry, I can't get on the video. I don't know why.
That's okay, Anar. We can hear you.
Well, I have accessed my senior center, which is called Better Living in Toronto, and I do go to they used to have monthly caregiver support programs. Now they've expanded it to twice a month. And so that's very useful. And my husband goes to a day center twice a week, and they have recently collaborated with the Alzheimer's Society, and we have caregiver support programs like once a month. So it's again a group counseling. It's on Zoom. So I have accessed, a few of these outside programs, and then informally too, when like when I go to the mosque and, within my faith community, and my friends, you discover that there are so many other people who are doing the same, but may not have a diagnosis, their spouse, or they may not have a diagnosis. So I try and tap into, those kinds of things, and it's been very, very helpful for me.
Thank you, Anar. That is so good to know, and great ideas for those on the line. So as we wrap up today, I feel like we just didn't have enough time all together today, but I'm so grateful. Christine, Catherine, Anar, Ron, thank you so much for joining us today. And Amy, I'm wondering if you want to wrap up our webinar today as our CEO at OCO.
Thank you so much, Felicia. This has been an amazing hour together, and I'm sure we could spend all afternoon. I want to thank each and every one of our caregivers, both those who spoke today and those who came to participate. We've had some amazing comments in the chat, and I really appreciate everything that you have all shared and asked in the chat. Please reach out to us and connect as you're able and as you wish to. And then a great thanks as well to our health system partners who've joined today. We are working in collaboration with you. We're part of the same team, and we really appreciate you coming to learn more about what we're doing. Thanks to our OCO staff members who shared their amazing insights on the work that they're doing. And also thank you to Ron for moderating our conversation today and sharing your insights and your expertise. So we'll look forward to reconnecting with everyone through OCO programs, services, and dialogue, and wishing everyone a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.